Hey Starseeds, welcome to your February reading. They're being uploaded a little bit later than I usually put them because I just got back from a meditation retreat and I had to integrate a lot of stuff. It's like 9 days of silence, and then the 10th day you get to talk to some people, and so much things happened. For me, during the 10 days, it was, I don't know what it feels like to take DMT as a substance, but if you took it for 10 days straight, that's how I felt. That's like the energetic and like etheric frequencies that I came across. So that was that. I wanted to also let you know, because I've been getting some requests, I'm gonna post a Q&A video in March. So if you have any questions for me, or if you're curious about my personal life or my spiritual life, please feel free to either comment below this video or send me an email with your questions, and I'll probably answer most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. Another thing is I got the Thoth Tarot deck, which is a tarot deck that's been guided for me to purchase like years ago, but I've always kind of I've kind of avoided it because I know how much it's going to change my life. I can just feel it, and I didn't feel ready, but I finally got it. So, hey Arcturians, welcome to your February reading. I'm a little bit later than usual, if you even noticed, but it's still the beginning of February, so I hope you enjoy this reading. It's because I've been gone for a retreat and I had so much to integrate. I had to just like be missing in action for a few days afterwards. You know, I couldn't really interact with people and things. Okay, so let's get into your reading. Arcturian. Okay, in the center of your reading, Arcturian, you have Prudence, which is the 8 of Discs in the Thoth Tarot deck. And the Thoth deck, I know I've mentioned it earlier, but it's literally like, I love this energy. I've been avoiding it for so long, but it's just, it was for me. It's like a friend that tells you exactly how it is, even if it might sound harsh. And luckily for you, you have a good card. So this 8 of Discs is on the verge of a manifestation explosion. And this is a chance for you to actually start really paying attention to what you're doing in the physical realm, because you've become really powerful. And this is a message that I have for you also, is your realization of this magic that you find in the physical realm. Because, you know, as an Arcturian, your higher centers are so developed, and maybe it took you quite some time to realize how the physical realm is just a different translation of the spiritual and etheric realms that you're so used to navigating through. And it looks, you have finally gone around there to see how it is functional, and you learned how to drive, so to speak, or navigate through this realm. But yeah, the material realm is very highlighted for you this month, and it's like coming to its full cycle of fruition. And so whatever you're doing in the physical realm is very much highlighted for you to pay attention to, and bake everything in with your intention. So even if you're doing small tasks like cleaning the kitchen or sweeping the floor, put in some sort of intention to make it into a ritual. So if you're thinking while you're vacuuming the floor, you're actually vacuuming up all the fear from Mother Earth. You know, that's like an intentive action now that is so magnified, and for your subconscious mind, it's going to really, really, really transform the way you operate daily life. Even when you're going through challenges, in this way you can meet them with a new sense of renewed inspiration. When you can really think, by going through this challenge, you are resolving many different knots at many different levels as proxy. And it's funny that that's actually what happens when you go through any challenge, whether small or big. You're actually untying countless knots throughout the dimensions. This is so strange, as you have two different, like you have, out of 4 cards, 3 of them are pentacles. So it looks like you're looking at the lack consciousness as this whole package of frequency regarding lack and waiting and this linear time. You're starting to view that and step away from the physical and linear perception of lack or time, linear time, to be able to really examine what that entails energetically. And so this is the process of which you come to this 8 of Pentacles, where this is the final kind of gateway into where you are solid on the physical realm. So 7 of Pentacles is, about persisting through time and this strenuous linear patience, and 5 of Pentacles being this lack consciousness. It's as if you have these belief structures that are finally coming up to the surface, where you think that prosperity is tied to some things, and that time is tied to some things. You have these ideas about, before I can get rich, this or this or this needs to happen, or that before I can instantly experience something, I need to go through this and this and this. You have this irrational definitions as to how things can happen or how time should unfold. And that's what you're looking at as you finally step into this position of being able to look at it objectively. And how can you pay attention to that? Well, ground. So what I would suggest for you to do is, when you think about the topics of lack and waiting and health, or these structural things in physical reality that you think is so difficult, clearly because these are difficult type of energy, other than the 8. This is the final outcome, but these 2 are difficult energies pertaining the physical realm. And you are kind of always puzzled as to, well, how am I supposed to navigate through this? I'm just lost. This is how you've been feeling, perhaps. But you can just resolve this and really come to an experiential solving of this by being grounded in your physical body at this moment. So it's a conceptual idea on your mental field, okay? This lack and this time and how things are going to unfold is all purely in your egoic mental plane at the moment. But when you really ground into your body and you start to feel the sensations of the course of your breath and how you are breathing when you are thinking about lack. Let's say all of a sudden you come across a situation in your life where the lack mentality just kicks in, and you know when it kicks in, it feels like kind of rigid, cut off, even icy, dense. That feeling, how are you feeling then in your sensational body? And then detach from that whole dialogue that's going in your head and just focus on your physical sensations. And notice which parts of my body feel rigid, which parts of my body feel cold. And then start to allow that and start to bring awareness to it. And the magic of bringing awareness to physical sensations is every situation, even your breath, is a blueprint. Your sensations and your breath are actual physical blueprints to whatever you're experiencing at the moment. So even if you think you're going through something very complex, at the end of the day, it's reduced to how you're breathing at that moment. You can access the entire blueprint of that structure by how you're breathing. And maybe you don't have the exact capacity to analyze your breath in such a way that details out all the specific interface, but it does contain it, and you have to just be really subtle with your consciousness to be able to examine that. But once you start really bringing awareness to it, because the act of placing awareness, which is purity, onto a situation such as your breath or your state of being at the moment, that awareness that you bring to that situation transmutes it by awareness itself, because awareness is pure. So once you start to feel comfortable really paying attention to either your sensations or your breath while you're going through these challenges and belief systems of time issues or resource issues, lack issues, relationship issues, then you start to resolve it just by the magic of awareness. And it will manifest in other ways that you can resolve it in physical reality. But at the level where you're paying attention to how you're physically feeling and how you're grounded and feeling your sensations, not just where it's most dominant, but feeling your sensations from the entirety of your physical structure, that's going to help you resolve this. And that's how you navigate through physical reality. I know it sounds simple, but this is how you do it. I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards. You have a need to be persistent this month because you've got the card Be Persistent with silver. And that will help you attract the success that you need for this new paradigm that's coming at the end of the month for you. It is this new physical interface where it is more attuned to your higher nature, but you need to ground because you've got two of these reddish colors that highlight your need to ground before you can really experience the magic of this physical interface. And as an Arcturian, all of your higher centers are very developed. So there's no need for you to really go about expanding your crown chakra or your third eye or doing hallucinogens like most people do when they're on the spiritual path. Maybe those are for people who are less developed in the higher centers, but Arcturians, their nature is that you come fully with this direct open channel, but your problems lay in your root chakra, your sacral chakra, in even your solar plexus. So this month, if you've been kind of on a path where you're just so focused on spirituality, your problem is grounding. And when you ground, if you feel like your third eye isn't as open as you would like it to be, or your crown chakra is not as vibrant, that's not the issue. Your upper chakras are good. They're like fully there, open. But the reason why you might not be experiencing them as much is because you're not grounded. And because this is a physical interface, you need to be grounded for you to channel that fully. Another message that I get, actually, all of these colors that you got are like lower chakra. So I have to go ahead and point out some of the things that I've been doing for years to balance my lower earthly chakras, because I have the same issue. Is I use light therapy. So if you have a red opaque light bulbs, you can use that. You can synchronize that with root chakra stimulating music. So that's anything that feels like it's stimulating your root chakras. You can YouTube it, you can search it, you can search for frequencies, or you can listen to really heavy like structural music. Like I listen to a lot of techno. What else? Patchouli oil is really good. Essential oil, if you take baths with it, or if you just give yourself an aromatherapy with the oil, or put it in your diffuser. Patchouli and sweet orange oil, that's what I've been using. And I just want to point out, your sense of smell is the only one that's not polarized within the human senses. So it's a very good way to heal yourself holistically. Now, I've got to also say there's a lot of inner child cards or children cards. Here's the thing, have fun with your inner child. And then you've got these 3 cards from this deck where all of them have something to do with a child. This card is literally the child card. There's a baby there. And then there's this is reward yourself, but this is a kid. And this one also has a kid. These are probably the only 3 cards in the whole deck that have children in it. Something about children is really highlighted. So I don't think this is necessarily pointing to an external child. Even if you have kids yourself, this is about you actually. This is about your inner child. Something that has to do with the programming that I said about how you think things should unfold, or maybe this promise that you made to yourself as a child. Anything that has to do with desires that you had as a child but maybe were suppressed, I would recommend you dedicate a day to do activities that you loved as a child. Eat the things that you loved as a child. Do the activities and just explore that perspective that you had as a child, and I think it will be very healing for you and progressive to your growth this month. Okay, thank you so much for tuning into this reading. I hope it has helped you, or it will help you somewhere along the way of February. I hope you have a great month, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, love you.